Good morning, dear students. Welcome to P.N.AMERSEY e-learning classes. Our second type of motion is circular motion. What is circular motion? In which an object moves around a circular path is called as circular motion. You can see and slide object moves in a circular path that can be said as circular motion. What are the examples of circular motion? The moon revolving around the sun, earth revolving around sun. See in the slide, earth is revolving around the sun. Satellites moving around earth. Motion of stone tied in a thread and rotated. You can see in the slide motion of stone tied in a thread and rotated in a circular motion. Motion of any point on blade of an electric fan. You can see in the slide how the fan revolves. Motion of any point like tip of second hand of a clock. Motion of person sitting on a merry-go-round. You would have been also seated in this merry-go-round and you would have felt how it moves in a circular way. The electric fan or the clock by themselves are not moving from one place to another, but the blades of the fan rotate, and so do the hands of a clock. If we mark a point anywhere on the blades of a fan or on the hands of a clock, the distance of this point from the center of the fan or the clock will remain the same as they rotate. Our third type of motion is periodic motion. What is periodic motion? Motion in which an object or a part of it repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time is called periodic motion. What are the examples of periodic motion? Motion of a pendulum clock. You can see in the slide two types of pendulum clocks has been shown. It moves from right to left, left to right. Motion of a child on a swing. You can see in the slide how the child moves on a swing. Heartbeat, bouncing ball, motion of Earth's rotation and revolution. You can see in the slide bouncing ball, it moves ups and downs. Revolution of moon round the earth. So, in some cases, an object repeats its motion after some time. This type of motion is called periodic motion. Take the stone tied with a string that you have used in activity 7. Now hold the string in your hand and let the stone hang from it. This is a pendulum. Pull the stone to one side with the other hand and let it go. Now the pendulum is in motion. It is an example of periodic motion. A branch of a tree moving to and fro, motion of a child on a swing, strings of a guitar or the membranes of drums, tabla being played are all examples of periodic motion where an object or a part of it repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time. Our last type of motion is rotational motion. What is rotational motion? A type of motion where an object spins on its own axis. Axis passes through the object. What are the examples of rotational motion? Rotation of Earth on its own axis. You can see in the slide, Earth rotates on its own axis. Motion of a spinning top. You can see the spinning top. Even you are sometimes playing with this spinning top also. And you can say this as a rotational motion. Rotation of windmill. You would have seen windmill also, how it rotates. So it is also an rotational motion. Turning of bicycle wheel. You can see in the slide a cycle is moving, but it moves, but its axes are fixed without changing its position. Motion of hands of watch. Motion of ceiling fan. So, what is the difference between circular motion and rotational motion? Circular motion, when a body moves along a circular path, it is said to be in circular motion. Example, the earth moves around the sun in a circular path. Some more examples of circular motion are motion of the moon around the earth, motion of the tip of the hand of a watch or a clock. What is rotational motion? A body is said to be in a rotational motion if it moves about a fixed axis without changing its position. For example, the motion of the blades of a fan. You would have observed that the whole fan does not move, only its blades moves. That shows us the rotational motion also, and you can say a circular motion also. Motion of a sewing machine. Motion of a sewing machine. Wheels of a sewing machine moves with a rotational motion. You can see in the slide with the arrow it has been shown. Its needle moves ups and downs continuously as long as the wheel rotates. These needle undergoes a periodic motion. Did you observe a sewing machine as a part of activity 5? You must have observed that it remains at the same location while its wheel moves with a circular motion. It has a needle that moves up and down continuously as long as the wheel rotates, isn't it? This needle is undergoing a periodic motion. Have you observed carefully the motion of a ball along the ground? Here, the ball is rolling on the ground, rotating as well as moving forward along the ground. Thus, the ball undergoes a rectilinear motion as well as a rotational motion. Can you think of other examples where objects undergo combinations of different types of motion? Motion of bicycle on a straight path. The wheel of the bicycle is rotating, showing rotational motion. The bicycle is moving forward in straight path, showing rectilinear motion. Motion of earth. Earth revolves around sun in circular path, showing circular motion. Earth rotates on its own axis, showing rotational motion. Earth takes 365 1/4 days to complete a revolution. It repeats its motion after a fixed interval of time, showing a periodic motion. We did many measurements, activities, and discussed some kinds of motion. We saw that motion is a change in the position of an object with time. The change in this position can be determined through distance measurements. This allows us to know how fast or slow a motion is. The movement of a snail on the ground, a butterfly flighting from flower to flower, a river flowing, an aeroplane flying, moon going around the earth, and blood flowing inside our bodies show that there is motion everywhere around us. Thank you, dear students.